Now, what are the risks, the reasons, etiology and risk factors? Chronic PID, any kind of infection, whether it is tuberculosis, whether it is chlamydia, whether it is gonorrhea, all these infections are going to cause some changes in the tube and the uterus, which will not allow the fetus, that is a zygote, the fertilized zygote, to either come to the uterus, so it implants in the tube, or they don't allow implantation itself. So if the implantation doesn't happen in the proper endometrial lining of the uterine cavity, it might implant somewhere else. So any kind of infection. Then tubal plastic operations, very, very high risk. Any case of tubal surgery is a very high risk for a subsequent ectopic pregnancy. Ovulation induction, yes, because they kind of hamper the tubal motility because of so many drugs that they are taking, high progesterone that they take for the implantation, that kind of hampers the tubal motility. So ovulation induction can lead to ectopic pregnancies. Similarly, even ARTs, even if we are doing like IVF, that has more chance of ectopic as compared to a normally conceived pregnancy. IUCD, I'll come to that in a later slide as to why IUCDs cause ectopics and which IUCDs are the most important ones, the most high risk ones. Then early diagnosis. Why early diagnosis is a risk factor or etiology factor? Because of increased awareness. Increased awareness among patients and among doctors as well. We treat what we know. Our eyes see what our brain knows, right? So now we know ectopic can be a presentation, so we know what we are doing. So that early diagnosis has decreased the mortality but increased the high risk factor or increased the etiology. Now, coming to other reasons, as I told you, ARTs, increased awareness, sterilization. So if you are basically sterilizing the tube, probably in the luteal phase, that is why we call the patient immediately after menstruation. That is the time when she has not ovulated and she is far from ovulation. So if the ova is somewhere here, it has like just been, the fimbria has just caught the ova from here and it is still traveling inside, and you have ligated the tube here. So what will happen to this fertilized zygote? Because it has already been fertilized, sperm has already reached here and they have a fertilized zygote here. So if this fertilized zygote is not able to enter the uterine cavity, what will happen? It will end up in an ectopic. So tubal sterilization, tubal ligation, even if it is done at the right time, say if you have done at the follicular phase, sometimes this might leak. There may be a mild leakage here. So because of this leakage, the passage is formed, the ova and the sperm can meet and it can lead to ectopic. The sperm can go inside through the leakage and it can still fertilize the ova which is lying there in the tube. So even if it is done in the right phase, that is follicular phase, it can lead to ectopic, or if it was done in the wrong phase. Then POPs. POPs, that is progesterone only pills. Progesterone only pills decrease the motility. You know progesterone itself is a smooth muscle relaxant. So it leads to ectopic because it decreases the motility of the tubes. Intrapelvic adhesions, yes, because any kind of adhesion can lead to ectopic. The tubal motility is hampered. So if you have adhesions here, adhesions here, the tube will not be able to move and the tubal ovarian anatomy will be hampered. What else can be the reasons? Now, as I told you, all kinds of infections. So it can be post-abortion, or it can be post-delivery. Right? I'm talking about infections. It can be appendicitis, means infection inside the abdomen. It can be genital tuberculosis, right? So any kind of infection. What can be the second cause? The second cause can be any anatomical problem.